Please no gang signs.
Does that toilet still work?
Yeah, we can clean guns on it. Oh, and I gotta make sure to turn this off. We are live right now, by the way. Live! I don't have enough room! Scoot back as far as you can.
There.
I have a thing when I cough on my videos where as you're coughing you have to say tuberculosis. So when you cough, maybe say that.
You may have to get to the point where you... Are we still alive?
Yeah.
So I can't say things?
No, you can say things.
Where you...
Can't say F-A-G-G-O-T.
Where you put something at the end right there, put a big American flag, and then aim it that direction.
Oh, like a background.
Is that what those are called?
Yeah. We'll stay on for a little bit, clean guns, see if anybody else jumps on. If not, we'll bounce.
So what's the benefit of this?
You just engage with people differently. Like I can talk with people that jump on. Why it has us sideways, I don't know.
Yeah, it's way up in the air.
Well, that's fine. What the heck? It didn't look like that from over there. Alright. So... Alright, there's the chat. Bro, you guys are sideways. Alright, so that answers that. Sitting sideways. I don't even know how the heck you're supposed to freaking flip this, so alright. We're about to... Y'all about to get a feet pick. Alright. They're like, dude, This is ghetto. I don't know how to switch it to whatever. I'll leave it like that. Alright, so no ammo on the table. Remember how I said you had to take it apart?
No.
Double check, make sure it's clear. It's pretty dirty. Put your finger in there. So these two tabs, it's just like a Glock. We'll pinch those and pull those down, but you gotta kind of pull the slide back out of battery. Pull those down. Then you're gonna pull the trigger. That's why you want to make sure it's unloaded. It comes forward, and then they're supposed to slide all the way off, but the subcompacts they just lift straight up.
Okay.
So that takes that off. Pull your spring out, and then barrel, and then there's your slide. So
Do they all work essentially the same?
some are different. Some have little things that rotate down, and that's what unlocks them.
But the essential locking mechanism is thinking is all the same. It's just got slightly different mechanisms
to unlock it.
Yeah. You get the slide off. So we've got slide, we've got barrel, we've got spring.
Now see on
What
mine,
is that? Technically.
lower receiver.
Lower receiver. Okay.
Your grip module frame.
Okay.
With mine, because I have a compensator, I will be able to get that off, but then I can't get that
Can
out
get the barrel out.
because
Yeah.
it's a threaded barrel. This is threaded on, and then there's set screws. Now, if I undid those and then unscrewed the whole thing, I could take it off.
Yeah.
But
You
I'm not gonna.
You can get to it as it is.
Yeah. So I'm not too terribly worried about it. And this ain't gonna be like a deep clean. It's mainly gonna be kind of a wipe down and then lube it back up. Now, where'd my brake cleaner go? Oh, we're gonna get hot.
So our first rule of Fight Club is get all your stuff together.
I mean, I could have done this beforehand, but then I would have been like super prepared, and then nobody shows up. So, if there's anyone watching, I can't find my stuff. Well, it doesn't matter. Oh well, we'll just lock it down. Cleaning guns is overrated, anyways. Oh. Ooh. Yeah, so you can use this. This or any of these. And so what you're gonna want to do is just where metal touches metal, where stuff moves against each other, that's where I'm usually going in there.
That's where the grime is?
Yeah. The carbon buildup, residue, dirt, all that stuff. So you want to go over there and knock that off. On the slide, you can see the grooves right there.
Mhm.
Try and get as much of that as possible. And then right here is where firing pin comes out.
Mhm.
So you can see it's got some
Yep.
dirty butthole action. And then we can do the barrel with this. Chicken in the bread pan, cooking out dough.
Are they, are they going to be in?
Hmm.
Can they hear
Mm-hmm.
what's going on?
Oh, if it's loud enough, yeah. It wouldn't be the first time there's been a live stream with crazy stuff happening in the background.
The dogs in the
We
background.
might be on Fail Army. I don't know. Is live streams 2 words? I don't know.
Something oddly pleasurable about this.
Mm-hmm.
In the hole, out it goes. Back in the hole.
Look at that. Look at that. Did you hear what I said earlier? Saturday Night Live?
Mm-hmm.
My phone heard it, watched it through its little FBI thing, and then brought it up as a tag.
What's the devil hooks for?
I've never had a use for those. They're for like picking out like really tiny crevices, like carbon buildup and stuff, but they're not rigid enough. You need a lot of times dentist tools work the best.
Yeah. They don't seem to be wanting to be
They don't have enough,
oomph.
yeah. So this is what I would be doing when I upload videos. This is all the metadata that you put in with the video behind it. So it'll show up in search engines and stuff like that. So while it's running live, it's still running live. I'm adding it to it.
How do you clean the spring?
Just wipe it down real good, and then we'll put some oil on it.
Use a dilapidated toothbrush.
No, just wipe it down. It would be pretty hilarious if June came out here and gave us some words of wisdom.
But it starts to rain. We're gonna be in here with a room full of dogs too.
Knocking stuff over. Alright, so I got that. Recording date, obviously, today. Merry Christmas, everyone, by the way. Done. Save. Alright.
I never know why on TV they say Happy Christmas.
People are dumb.
Probably something political. Okay. I clean my crevices, my
I
pipe.
clean my crevices and my holes.
Crevices, my pipe.
It's still bugging me about the sideways thing, though.
And apparently my
Pipe.
my firing pin butthole.
Firing pin butthole.
Yes.
You get that really good? That ramp?
I did not.
Yeah, that's your feed ramp. You want that as slicker than owl snot.
Is that where the janky 9mm shells we were using?
Those are aluminum.
That time, is that where they kept getting hung up?
Yeah. Well, that's because aluminum's really soft.
Yeah, it was bending.
And it was the rim of it was catching on there and then rolling back.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't the same spec to fit in the chamber.
Yep.
That's still aggravating me about the not being sideways thing. Aggravating me about the... No, we're not doing that. Mute.
So you want me to clean that?
So, yes, but also, look at here.
Okay.
And then tell me if it goes landscape mode. We're filming right now, bud. What's up? You can come out here if you want. The girl's beating you up?
No. You're still in portrait.
Okay.
I would personally prefer. Okay. Still.
It's sideways?
There it went.
If it's regular?
It is. You got a portrait window, but it.
I'm in landscape, but it moved us with it. Yeah.
And it's about a 30-second delay.
Why? And it's pointed at me. It didn't do this last time. Why is it doing that?
It would be nice if they looked at our faces up and off of my head.
Well, that's where I'm wearing a hat.
Is it raining outside?
Orientation is locked.
Poke your head out. Okay. Don't let him in, just poke your head out.
It's not.
Not raining.
Okay. Wow. Because if you leave it open, it'll pour in. Especially the 2 couch potatoes.
Ugh, a mug. How do you freaking change this, bro? Is it still sideways?
Yeah.
We are sideways?
Yes. We have a vertical screen.
Yep.
Which is, I don't think, what we're at.
No. I don't know what the deal is with that. Oh well, I'll work on it next time. Whoever's watching it's probably like, I'm all sick.
Well, you learn how to do it. You go back to the slick live streamers right now, look at their first videos, they probably were wretched.
Oh, dude, there's NPC live streamers.
I don't know what NPC is.
Non-playable character. So, some of the like older video games I used to play, the characters that you don't play as, or that aren't really part of any of the missions, like side characters that just stand there, and then maybe talk to you like, "Oh, hello, good sir." As you pass by, that's an NPC. They don't do anything. There are people that live stream as NPCs, and people pay them money to watch them, and they'll live stream for like 6 hours straight, and they'll just, hello there. So, what seems silly and goofy to us is actually real high up on the totem pole when it comes to
Give the customer what they want, regardless of how intelligent you think it is. Up to a point. You can't go super stupid.
engagement rate is 0. It says one person's watching. I think that's us.
Well, you learn by doing.
Yeah. All right. So, did you wipe this one down?
I did not. Now, by wiping it down, am I brushing it? Am I
Just do
brushing it, plunging it, or scrubbing it? We're cleaning out the
All I
carpet.
care about is right here, right there, and then the barrel. I don't care about all the rest of the stuff.
So at this point, we are removing.
It's taken down as far as it'll go.
We're removing the carbon buildup from the firing of the shells, because I am not a gun person. Clearly.
Yes. Burnt powder, unburnt powder. I don't even know if you can do this on a live.
What?
Like, we're just cleaning guns, but it's disassembly. And if you show people how to disassemble, sometimes YouTube will freak out about it. You're teaching them how to build it. This is normal operating functions of the firearm.
Yeah. Maintaining your weapon.
Woo! Clean this in a long time.
What part is that?
This is the BCG to my AR. BCG stands for the Bolt Carrier Group.
Huh.
Popped up.
Is this what we're after?
Yeah, I mean, that part I wasn't really worried about, so you can wipe that down. Just wipe it off with this and you're good. And then wipe off all that.
So what's the advantage of the Glock?
They're just
What's its selling point?
reliability.
So this engineering right here that I'm wiping down is superior in theory, to others?
It's not necessarily superior. Oh, bro, ruined the pants. It is just, they've been around since the late 80s, and then cops have been using pretty much nothing but Glocks, cops and military.
So the
So
divine has been pounded on to the point that it's sharp.
Yeah. It has done the most time.
Yeah, okay.
There's other guns that are just as, reliable and they work really well and all that. They just don't have as long of a track record.
Yeah. Engineering is sound, but they don't have the trigger time.
So this is the actual bolt. So this is the BCG, bolt carrier group. When I put it back together, I'll explain what does what, but that's the extractor. Look at that. I mean, look what all's come off on my hands.
Yeah. And all that's residue?
Yeah. Well, it's gunpowder and oil mixed together. So, there it is. So with this, I don't care about getting it super duper clean. A lot of guys don't even do this at all. They just keep oiling it. And that's the thing with ARs is they like to run wet, which means lots of oil. So what I'm just gonna do is just knock off big chunks. I usually use brake cleaner because brake cleaner will, you just take all this apart, put it outside on like a piece of cardboard and just hose it down, and it strips all the oils, all the grime, all that stuff to where it's just bare. And then all you have to do is just kind of wipe it down and then oil it and then slap it back together. So that's good enough for my liking. This is the cam pin. Show you where it goes in a minute. There's your bolt.
And this is the essential assembly that makes the AR different than the others.
There's, lots of other guns have bolts and bolt carriers and all that stuff. This isn't like.
But why is it? What makes the AR special? So that people buy just gobs of that one.
Well, it was when it came out. It's direct gas impingement, so self-loading with its own gas. But that's also why people hate it. It's because the operation of how it works. It's literally shitting where it eats. It's pooping into its own mouth, and that's why this is so dirty. It's because a lot of the gas that it's blowing out the barrel, that's coming back and running into this to make it cycle.
And gumming it up.
Like AKs, pistons, stuff like that, it runs a lot like the piston of a car. So it's still using the gas to move the bolt, but the bolt is attached to a big long piston. And the explosion happens way up here and it pushes the piston. The piston's just connected to the bolt. So the bolt stays doo-doo free.
Yeah.
And that's why that and the ungodly tolerances of AKs are what make it so reliable. Because you can literally like jam a ham and cheese sandwich in it and it'll still shoot.
Yeah.
Then we got the extractor.
So that's one thing people throw rocks at Russian engineering, but the AK and its utter simplicity.
Yeah. That was about the only thing that they did good.
Yeah.
Like literally, that was about it.
Rifle that changed the world.
All right, so extractor.
That and the Winchester. You don't see many jihadis out there with anything other than AKs.
I don't know if we can say jihadi, but whatever. Screw it. All right, so here is firing pin. So this is what it's the butthole. There's your firing pin butthole. This is what hits the bullet, sends it. And then this is called the Jesus pin. Because without this, you'll be praying to Jesus, because this is what holds everything together.
So literally, if you want to put your eggs in one basket, there it is. There's the basket. So if I'm field stripping this out in the woods, oops.
Well, see, you said oops, and they literally sell an oops kit. I have one in my chest rig, and it comes with extra cotter pins, extra extractor springs, Jesus pins, all that.
Okay.
And then right here, these little metal rings, those are your gas rings. And so that seals this inside the BCG. And I'll show you how to test those here in a sec. Howdy from Texas. We are also from Texas. Probably helps if I click on that.
The dogs are out there chasing something in the backyard. And they're having a good time in the house.
These will be more than likely the first thing that will go out on this. From just shooting it a whole bunch, wearing parts down, that'll be the first thing to go. I've already had to change these out twice now. And when they go out, you'll start short shucking, which means you pull the trigger, click, bang, it goes off, it sends the round. It has enough gas to come back and throw the round out, but not enough gas to come all the way back and pick up that next round. Or short shucking. Like short shucking on a shotgun where you try and go too fast and you don't pick up that next round. You didn't go far enough back. Same thing, because the gas is leaking. It's not using all of it to come all the way back. So bolt, we put our extractor. The extractor is what moves, and this is what slides over the back of the bullet. Pull it out. So you put that pin back in there. It's held by the spring.
Be interesting to watch the computer modeling of all this.
Oh, they have them. Like it working. Yeah, they've got those. Then you take your bolt. That's your bolt face, so you want that facing up. And then the part that has the extractor, I usually turn that to the right. And then the hole that lines up with that, I don't know if you can see that. Because there's two holes. That's where this slides in. And it's going to go in this way and then turn like that, since it's a rectangle.
So here's a question. What do those of us with club hands, those of us, allow me to rephrase, those of us
with penguin hands,
without manual dexterity.
Then you gotta learn. Did I put the extractor on the wrong side? I did. Oh, extractor on the left. I thought it was the right. All right, so then you turn it to where it is long ways like this. And then The next thing we're going to slide in is the firing pin. It's going to drop all the way down there. Jesus pin. It's all it is a cotter pin that retains the firing pin. So
without it, what happens to the firing pin?
The firing pin will come out. Okay. And then you can reset it and pull the trigger all you want, and it might go click, but the pin is not coming out and hitting the round. Mechanic, the firing pin on that, I broke it. I shot it so much I broke it, where it was just click, 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 nothing. And then I took it apart and dug the firing pin out of the back, and it had broken too. And I had to get a brand new one because it wasn't hitting the round. Alright, so we put everything back together. This is ready to go. See how this moves? So when you pull it all the way out, stand it up on its end, and if it stands up under its own weight, then your gas rings are good. But if you set it up like that and it slides down under its own weight, then your gas rings are bad. And you'll need to change them. Which gas rings are like $2. So there's that. Wipe that down. And then 2 pins. Do your rear one. It'll flip it forward. You do both. And you can take it apart. So here's your lower receiver, upper receiver. So for the lower, all I do is, see how there's like junk right there? That is your mag catch. So I like to brush that pretty good. And then I'll be putting oil right there in the trigger spring. Basically, any moving metal part, any pivoting metal part you want to clean, wipe off real good, get any dirt, grime, all that stuff, and then we'll be putting oil there. So that part, good enough for my liking. And the only part of this is the chamber. And you can see how gross that is, but that's also kind of a pain in the butt to get to. That is where, open up that thing. So I'll clean out as much as I can from right there.
Now on that particular piece, you wouldn't put the brake cleaner?
No, I put it on all of it.
Okay. So if you want to do a deep clean, you would take that out and just spray it with the brake cleaner, and it would take all that off.
Yeah. I don't know. Some guys are kind of scared of it. If I run brake cleaner inside the barrel, then I let it dry, and then I wipe it really, really, really good with oil, because you don't want to leave it without any kind of lube in there or a preservative, because then you'll get rust and deformities in the rifling. But take this. And if you feel right here on it.
What did I just feel?
This is a bore snake. So much like a toilet snake.
Get it in the hole and pull it through.
So you remember how I used to clean, like with Paul's stuff, with the swabs and the ramrods? It's like that, only easier. So you've got the little bristly parts you felt, which was like these, and then this part.
Oh, okay.
So it's cleaning, debriding, and then kind of swabbing it as you pull it out.
Okay.
Grab it. So that's good enough for my liking. So now what we're gonna do, in order to get this back in here, this goes in first. See those little notches? Slide it in the big hole and push up, and there's a groove, and it'll slide up on that upper track. You have to leave it out.
How'd you learn all this?
Messing with it, and then
I've always found taking things apart to be not that much of a problem.
getting them
back together.
all the rifles and guns that I've messed with and jacked with, like I pretty much know how to take them all apart. Not just mine, but like everything, because I like doing this stuff. The bolt has to be extended. Line this up, and you see that thing sticking up right there. That's the gas key, and you see that that chrome looking thing.
Yep.
That's the gas tube. So that's what goes all the way down there to the gas block. And underneath that, in the barrel, is a little hole. So when you shoot, gases come down here, they go through that hole, back up that tube, and that tube goes inside that. Gases go in that, and that's what makes this.
Yep.
So this slides up into the charging handle, and it loads in. Put your pins back in, and then to do a functions check, with it on safe, pull the trigger. It's not going off. Put it on fire, pull the trigger, click, hold the trigger to the rear, reset it. You hear the trigger reset. It was put back together successfully. So I'll put lube on it next time I go to the range. So I ain't worried about it right now. Oh, and then same thing with this, only there's no safety, so click, hold it to the rear, reset, it's put back. So that one's good. And then for yours, put your barrel back in.
Which way does it go? What's up?
Well, look at the barrel.
Okay.
That's the side you see. That's the side that's going to pivot from what you don't see. So that's the bottom. Nope. There you go. Other way. Tip first. Slide it in. Rotate it back. And see how it kind of fit in there? So this is your breech lockup. It's a Browning design from the 1911. So when you shoot, you see him shoot in slow motion, and this comes back. See how that barrel tips up? That's what it's designed for. But then when it comes back, it's locked up. So that way you know you put it in right.
Okay.
You got the slide spring.
You're essentially reassembling the upper receiver and just attaching it.
Yeah. Only this wouldn't be the accepted term is just slide.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
the slide.
Okay.
So for your slide spring, these all look a little different. Some have two, like this has two springs, that has two springs. My old Canic had one. It was just a single one coming back. They're all a little different, but there's only one real way to get it in there. But you see how there's that little lip?
Yep.
So that's the correct way to do it. Now you just push this until it rests on that lip of the barrel. So hold it. Yeah, you can do it that way. Just with springs, they'll tend to shoot off if you're not holding them correctly.
Like that.
Yeah. So you got that right. And then now for this, see mine, you just come straight out like that. But with this one, see how those grooves are recessed? Those need to drop in on these two ears.
Okay.
So they drop in, and now you just rack it all the way, and then press and hold, and then rack it again. Wait for your click. Did you get a click? So you got to reset, and everything's put back the way it's supposed to.
So to get it off, these pins come down. It's comes back.
No. Well,
Slides on.
I've never seen it go that way. I think you might have just manhandled it open. Let me see it.
Well, I pinched them and lifted them.
So you just grab this and rip it off. Alright, so. Oh, yeah. That's weird. So, like on a Glock, I don't think you can do it. No. You have to pull the slide out of battery. Battery, when it's in battery, everything's closed and locked up. Out of battery is like that. You have to pull it out of battery and then pull the tabs down. I can't even pull them down unless like that. So with that one,
And on this one,
just pull the tabs down and then pull the trigger. You pull them down?
you just slide it forward.
Yeah.
And watch everything explode.
Yeah, we'll clean that gun real quick. So find your recess in there, line it up.
Line it up on the ears.
Now the main thing with guns like these, on taking them apart, like mine, you have to pull the trigger to get it off. So like this. I've got it out of battery, I pull the tabs down. I can't get this off until I pull the trigger. So how do you think guys shoot themselves cleaning guns? They take a mag, they don't unload it, and they do this, and then they have to pull the trigger to get it out, and they just loaded one in there, or there was already one in there, and when they pull it to get this off, bang. So yeet!
Let's try that again. Line it up on the ears. Okay, pull it back. Rack it. hold the trigger down, rack it.
When you let go, I usually just let go slow. And then you can feel it and hear it. Because that'll also, like, the more and more you do that, you're building muscle memory reps on where that reset is. So that you don't slap. Slapping's okay. I do it all the time. People are like, you're not resetting the trigger, you slapping. I can slap all day long and still shoot better than 90% of people out there. That combat pistol course I went to with Chancey Pogue, somebody said that. He was a retired SWAT out of DFW. And that dude was like, talking about slapping the trigger. And Pogue comes over to me because he had seen how I was shooting, and he told me to hold the gun like that, with my fingers completely out of the trigger. And then he took a screwdriver, a big ass screwdriver, and he's like, stay on the target. Stuck it in the trigger guard, and then went and judo chopped it, and that gun was just bah, 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 and I was holding straight on target. As soon as I got done, he told that guy to shut up. So your slide spring on this is tougher than all get out. I will say that. Like, rack that, and now rack mine.
Oh yeah. And this is full size. This is compact.
This is a hybrid. This is what Glock sent.
This is mine's the middle ground.
No.
Between the big and the smallest.
There's
compact, subcompact, and the full size.
My understanding is subcompact. There's micro, which micro and subcompact live together. Compact, which is what the 19 is. Then there's full size, which is what the 17 is. But this is a 19X. And then you've got your full size long boys.
Yeah.
Which is like what my old Canic was, or your 17Ls, or your Glock 34s. So the Glock 19 is compact slide, compact frame. The 19X is compact slide, full size frame. So bigger grip, same size slot.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted it, is because the 19 is too small for me. And what I don't like about subcompacts is when you go to do reloads, see all that meat?
Yeah, you got your fingers in the way.
I just pinch all day long. So I need to have enough grip to where I'm not pinching.
Very good.
So, how long is this even going? We started at 6, so about an hour. All right, peace out. Experiment. PawPaw yeeted a gun.
Shot it across the room. That was good. That's what you need.